All right, and welcome to Ars Magica. We are back after a couple different things, including the weather last week. I am Michael, pronouns he, him, and I will be running the game tonight. Want to go through and
I'm
introduce
Sarah,
yourselves?
she, her, and I am playing Lear, a half fae, half water fae mage who's very ambitious.
Ah,
Okay.
is it me or is it Nessa?
No, it's you. I was just saying,
Oh,
okay.
okay. Hi, I'm Steve. I am he, him, and I am going to be playing my mage Zaldin today, who is also he, him, and he's just a tiger boy. So
He's a
Tiger
tiger boy.
boy.
And a
He's
tiger.
great.
Have we not made this joke before?
that's
I have edits in mind now. Hi, I'm Nessa. She, her, and I will be playing Pen. Also she, her. She is a fun-loving werewolf gal who's largely unbothered by most things. Unlike me, I'm very bothered by almost everything.
All right, do we want to go over what had happened last time?
Sure thing. I'm just going to go really fast. So I'm not going to hit every single point. Like, here's in 4 sentences, this is what you missed on Glee. Uh, sorry. Lear was here with my new character, Lysander, and what's the name of the big guy?
Thordak.
Thordak, sorry, blanking on that one. Was here with
All good.
Thordak and Lysander. Lysander was a spy that I had made up. Kind of not a spoiler. It was his like class essentially. And all of a sudden we had a lot of people sleepwalking into the woods for unknown reasons. And then completely unrelated, we had a giant wolf attack on a caravan with leaving only one survivor. Very quickly, people put together that maybe the wolf attack had something to do with that guy who can control wolves, who may or may not have had a vendetta against Penn, and was seeking vengeance. And so we just kind of gathered up an army, went to the woods, and murked his ass.
Mhm.
That's. I mean, that feels like we're caught up, right? Like,
Okay.
That essentially was it.
Yeah.
The guy that was in the woods was Vaso, which was the one grog I played in like way back when.
hey, he was an evil
What-
guy.
One
Yeah.
of our first sessions.
Yeah.
Yep. But we killed him, and he is no more. And we did promise the lone survivor girl, whose name escapes me, that we would get her back somewhere close to her family, because now the most of her family is dead because of wolves, because of us. But like, we didn't tell her it was because of us.
Sorry about your family and everybody else who's dead.
Yeah.
All
Say
right.
la vie.
So we are now in. I've written it. Let me just close the thing. We are in winter of 1221. So you want to think you will be able to advance your characters as they go. But we're going to be able to do something with kind of all three of the mages. You've all had a couple things that you have been interested in and talking about, and one of the things is you travel out during. Actually, I tell you, do you want to go in the winter or do you want to wait till the spring?
Where are we traveling?
You're gonna be a couple different places each.
I feel like we gotta wait till spring,
Okay.
right? See, especially in this era, that sounds miserable traveling.
Yeah, we're probably waiting until spring.
All right.
Even
so
in Greece, it sounds miserable.
I have set the world date to spring. Oops, sorry, I said it wrong. Spring does not automatically go to the next one. Set world date spring 1222. The wheel of time continues past. So you each will have, like, you can kind of figure out while we're jumping back and forth a little bit the things that you want to, that you've been studying, that you've been working on. But there's been a few things that you've each been doing. And weirdly enough, when I sort of look through the places for you that would happen for this, they are all kind of rough, like around the same area. Not close enough that y'all are together. But if you look at the map that you're on right now, the Theban Tribunal.
Mm-hmm.
Hold on, my oh, there it goes. Okay.
Or actually, here, let me.
Oh, there we go.
Quick. I might take us to the Theban cities. It might help. Nope. Well, a little bit. Deep covenants. Actually, I'm going to move you over to here. So that'll switch here in a moment.
I should charge my iPad and make a bigger screen so that we can put maps on. Sorry, I should have done that already.
I don't think yours affects the screen at all.
Oh no, I should make another overlay is what I'm saying.
Oh, okay.
I only made the little one, and then I never made the big one because my iPad ran out of battery, and I'm that lazy that I never plugged it back in.
So, in a bit, we'll be traveling. Steve Zaldin will be headed to Pelagios, which is a covenant. You can see there.
Ooh, I gotta go by sea.
Sarah, you'll be at Aegea, which is up here.
Okay.
And let me actually see if this is on one of these. I don't think so, however. And Lear. Not Lear. Penn. You were told about Mount Selene, which is a place to go to find out kind of more about the werewolves and such. And that is roughly, see where it says Epidarios?
Yeah, okay, yeah.
A bit north of there. Reasons for going. Partly for you were sent to check there about like early werewolves to find out about the curses, because King Lycon is should be in that area. That the whole place has been dedicated to Hermes, which is another person if you're able to find Hermes there. Lear, if you're looking for more stuff about like some more books and things about Aquam, essentially to make yourself more powerful in that. And one of the best places to go is actually the underwater covenant of Aegea. And you've been doing a bit of communication with Lucian, the scholar of House Marinita, and been talking about going down there to visit. And for Zaldin, you have been, I know you said you're looking for more stuff about the sensory magic.
Yes.
In particular. Part of to do that, what you need to do is, like, there are the Oath of Steadfastness. Like, part of it is becoming a portion of one of the sort of secret societies of the Bjornir that, like, specifically involves themselves in that. And to get those, you essentially have to join them. And you have been in some conversation with a member of Pelagios, which is on the Cyclades themselves. You've been talking there particularly with wait, did the name get split? Apologies. I mean, yeah, something happened there with the name. Just find that real quick. But with one of the people there. So.
You think we're all gonna like meet up first, or we're all just cut to everyone's out on their journey? Because frankly, either would work.
Yeah, why don't we start with, you probably had three of you haven't really talked necessarily for a little bit. Why don't we get you together before you end up taking off, knowing that you're going to be leaving the Covenant relatively bare so far.
Are we just gonna pretend like Salim is still there to run things?
We'll say he's gone somewhere else because what he's trying to do is he's studying that orb that y'all
found. Right, the orb.
Well, then the first order of business is who are we gonna leave in charge, and why is it Hunter?
Well, Hunter's a great warrior. That doesn't necessarily. Oh, hang on. Well, Hunter's a great warrior. That doesn't really necessarily mean
that wasn't in character.
Oh, either way, Hunter's a great warrior. I don't know if that necessarily translates to running a keep, but also we all love him so much.
What's your Grog's, not your Grog, your companion's name?
Oh, I should remember this off the top of my head. Giselle.
I mean, Giselle is more than capable.
I mean, yeah, technically she is.
Right. Yeah, I think that would she's more than capable of running it, but she's not much of the defense minded.
I mean, she's good on a hunt.
So where is it that all of you are going again, just so we know in case that problems arise?
Werewolf Mountain.
Underwater in Magia.
Perfect. I'm going to Pelagios in the Cyclades. So if anything goes
That's a
wrong,
hole.
Cyclades
we
is, I
know
believe, how it's pronounced.
oh, yeah, that place. So
Is that
if,
where they invented having more than one wife or husband?
It's okay. It's okay, baby. I'm Greek.
Not into monogamy.
Anyway, so yes, so we all agree that we should leave Giselle in charge of the day-to-day affairs. Perfect.
She's capable.
And we can put Hunter in charge of military something.
Thordak likes to be in charge of that, but
That's true. He does
he does like Hunter a lot.
Yeah.
Anyway, what was out of character? What's the name of that other mage that's not really a mage, that's kind of a mage that we met in that other realm that we brought that's staying at the Covenant?
Oh, the one that came to see you. That was
No, like there is this. Yeah, that was him. Yeah, came to see us and took us to that place under that church that went to another realm and was like,
the guy who's like 114 years old.
yeah,
Diam.
Yeah, that's it, Diam. I imagine if there's any magical issues, Diam is at least minorly capable of taking care of it.
This is Daedalus.
Yeah, if anything, Daedalus might be a better choice.
Yeah, he's currently under the Covenant Grogs.
Now, what did you guys say happened to that guy who I met? I turned him into a gerbil, and then you guys said he came back for something.
Yes, Lear, tell us about that. That sounded exciting.
Was it to say thank you for him for being turned into a gerbil?
Okay. Next time you have somebody dead set on killing people with wolves, kill them first. Please.
I mean, I did give it a go.
I know, but very for me when the animal mages are not here and I'm dealing with animals. Back and I managed it, thank God, but could have gone very badly.
Okay.
He had lots of.
Well, that's kind of why I didn't kill him in the first place, was because of all the wolves.
You could have killed the gerbil though.
Yeah, but sometimes when you kill the gerbil, they turn back into a human.
So you had him in your clutches and you let him get away.
Well, he was really eating through the bag.
Just next time, just kill the gerbil, please.
And if
you have that ability.
If he comes back, you had Mishka, who could have easily just done.
Yeah.
Like we all haven't had a village or two left in our wake.
I saved the villagers.
I didn't destroy a village on the way here.
Well, then I guess it's just me and
Salim.
Just me and Salim then. Gods, I miss him.
I mean, to be fair, Salim just burnt a bunch of them. He didn't actually annihilate the village.
And I didn't annihilate the village either. I just let a man annihilate a village.
Okay, well, in the future, please kill the gerbil.
All right.
Please. Because I am not great with animals. I can't even ride a horse.
Neither can I.
Okay, but you at least can, like, pet a horse. Horses tend to get really skittish around me.
They also get really skittish around me, but usually I just have to talk to them for a while and then reason with them.
Well, I'm not great with animals. Please, it's our good fortune that I was able to.
It is kind of funny that the two animal mages are gone and you're the only one here for an animal incident. It's
Yeah,
kind of ironic.
yeah. That's not the word I pay. Yes. Did not enjoy it. Thank God for Thordak. He's a very powerful man.
But you didn't get hurt for once. It was a good mission.
I don't always get hurt.
Yeah, they didn't get hurt when they went to go see the Fairy Queen. It just trapped into some kind of obligation.
I mean, you still have the Fairy Queen's dress, and Bastion still has their lyre. Is
Bastion,
that really unscathed?
Bastion is a favorite of the Fae Queens. I think one way or the other, he'd be stuck. Yes, I have the dress. Yes. But it's okay. I was not hurt. I didn't get hurt this time. I don't always get hurt. Also,
Okay.
I have the healing spells.
That's true.
Healing people.
Well, I'm gonna head out soon. I'll let you guys know if I get ripped apart by wolves.
Okay.
Yes, I have to get to the ship eventually. So, yes, if there's any other business that needs to be taken care of before we go, anything that you know of?
No.
Just still the wolf madness.
That was 2 seasons ago. It should be fine.
Yeah, but I still am trying to work on it. I got distracted with my whole glass baby thing for a minute, but
How'd that work out?
not great.
Mm.
That guy's kind of a prick.
I mean, he
Pygmalion?
did make his own wife.
Yeah, makes me think about myself.
Pygmalion's the original passport, bro.
It really is. Alrighty.
Well, hopefully I will see you all in a couple months and we will not come back to a burnt down covenant or problems, but we can't get that lucky. So when we return, we'll deal with the issues.
We'll be fine. Everything will be fine.
We could just do vengeance on someone if need be.
Oh, I hate doing vengeance.
Mm.
So time consuming.
So
normally when we go ahead.
On the way there, this way you get all your stuff. You, for the most part, you're able to travel for a little while together if that's what you want to do, because there's a point where you leave. Because recall, y'all are
Right
here. This the place where you stay. As you're going to be going down around, you could essentially drop off first Lear, then Zaldin, and then Penn will have to land and then go a bit more inland from probably from the city of Nafion. Or were you planning on like flying at some point? Maybe going.
I'll travel with them for as long as I can go, and then I'll just fly the rest.
Okay. So probably as you kind of come around, going towards the Cyclades, at that point, taking off and flying, as a giant, swan. Yeah, as a giant swan, and head your way out. So, first for Lear, you end up stopping at at Alexandria. They have you're met by one of the mages there who actually is able to help you get where you are going with a glass submarine. This kind of this like incredible magical conveyance that had been created mostly to get people down to Aegea.
Incredible.
You got a mage from another covenant is there and sort of hands off the stuff with the submarine to you and kind of explaining how to get where you're going. Because he himself was kind of heads down from the covenant there, and just asks you, "Is like, are you aware of what you're going into?"
What do you mean?
Aegea is for the most part, when it comes to the various covenants and Magi of the Theban Tribunal, Aegea is distant from everyone. They have essentially removed themselves from a good deal of what's gone on, and because of that, they're not necessarily particularly trustworthy. These people live within a regio, a very powerful regio, there and the entire time. That changes someone. That makes them
I see.
a little more unusual than most. So do be aware you are probably going to be running into some fairly unusual behavior. I hope whatever you're looking for there as well.
Can you repeat that? I froze up real quick.
You'll probably find some fairly unusual behavior. So I'm hoping whatever you're looking for is going to be worth it.
You have no idea the mages I live with.
I don't think they're going to compare.
All right. Yeah.
All right. Yeah, and there's a pilot that's in there that's part of the Covenant that's kind of getting ready to take you down. The thing itself is magnificent. Was clearly like a work of incredible both magic and skill. So as you're heading down, you're able to like see things sort of deeper under the sea as it's taking you kind of further and further down until at one point things start to clear, and on the approach, I've got the name right, Aegaea. Okay. On the approach to it, you start to see like a glow kind of coming through on the horizon. Well, not the horizon, but basically kind of further in. And this large glassed-in dome is the first thing that you sort of see. There is like a huge amount of light and other stuff coming from it. A palace that seems to be there on the seafloor, and at some point you travel through the regio into... It goes up underneath part of it, and then you rise up into the regio it's in, and you are in this like sprawling kind of beautiful palace. And there are a few people there as they get there to kind of remove things to get you unloaded from the submarine before you're to be taken to see some of the other mages there. For Zaldin.
Yeah.
Plagios is on a fairly barren part of kind of the western edge of the Cyclades. Very, very rocky with peaks that like tower over the sea itself. There's one point where sort of the highest peak, it's a fairly rough travel to get there, where there is a large watchtower that kind of like rises above these peaks, and then down the slope there are these 8 like stone buildings, like dragon houses, they're called. It's this like kind of octagonal shape that are where the mages and such live. And again, it is a bit of a rough going to get there. Are you going human form? Are you going as a tiger? Are you bringing people with you?
Zaldin doesn't like to leave without people, but I think he went minimal. I think he only has like 2 or I'm gonna say 4 shield grogs with him.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't bring anybody that we've currently named. He always has Cassie, and I think this time he's actually traveling in tiger form once we get to the island.
Okay.
Just for like the ease of travel, because he physically isn't that strong, but the tiger form is.
Yeah, and then Sarah, were you with anybody?
Honestly, I think she's alone. I think maybe she brought one guard or one of the veterans with her, but I think for the most part she's alone because she doesn't want to come off threatening, I guess, to the other covenant.
Mm-hmm.
She I think she feels that if she comes on strong, like with a whole battalion of guards and stuff like that, it's going to be like,
what are you, Madonna?
What do you expect? Madonna, but like also, but like, oh, you're expecting a threat. So I think she's trying. This is very like Hey, Evelyn, I'm just here with my one who's like a helper type thing. Celebrities, they're just like us.
Okay. Zaldin, when you get there, because what Lear had seen is you get down there, there are the people that come in and take it. Like you hear music further in. This sort of like large, like you've got trees and such, like a lot of flowers and such going through this large sort of palace, and the people that come there seem like pretty well dressed, kind of move with a bounce in their step. They're clearly not like visitors don't happen that often, as opposed to Zaldin. As you approach, you are met with a group of clearly military make their way out, and at one point, one of them just like, "Would we're expecting the mage Zaldin of House Bjornir."
I'm gonna turn back into human and just be like, yes, that would be me. I appreciate you meeting me.
Kind of nods and just goes, "If you come with us, we'll show you into a place to stay where you can get rested and changed before you meet the mages."
Appreciate it.
And they kind of turn on a dime and they lead you and your people into one of the dragon houses. And then Pen, as you're
I am
flying,
Lear. I'm Lear now.
as you're flying in, there is on the mountain itself there is a temple to Hermes, a place that had been sanctified by him, one of the kind of the biggest temples to Hermes. This is essentially like the god that him or King Lycan rather, might be able to help you figure out more about lycanthropy, the curse, and what all of this stuff means. As you're kind of flying there, you see you're kind of probably, I'm assuming, high enough that people aren't going to notice your large size. Really, they're just going to look up and see there's something flying.
Yep.
Yeah. So as you head up there, you're seeing that there are some priests and other people who are working some fields and stuff nearby. You see people at study. You see it looks like a fairly boring monastery essentially. Like this temple itself right now doesn't really seem to have a lot of visitors, anything along those lines.
Okay. Could I say that on my way here, I tried to gather something that I think would be like a good offering for Hermes?
Mm-hmm. What do you any idea what you would have gathered?
God, I'm bad at hunting. I think Pen thinks of the gods as, even though she knows they're separate beings, she thinks of them as well, what would I like as a gift? That'll be perfect for Hermes, even though that's probably not the wrong idea. So if I manage to kill an animal on my way in, or if I find some good looking berries, could be one, could be the other.
Okay. Which would you like that to be?
Let's see if I can kill an animal if we find one.
All right. Are you looking for any specific type of animal on the way there?
Not in particular. I think I'm going to steer clear of wolves just in case, because that seems like I would either be very welcomed or not welcomed at all.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
As you kind of fly over, there's places where you see sheep, you see probably deer, cattle, things along those lines.
Mhm.
Let's shoot for a deer just because I feel like that's probably more.
I think with some of your magic, you're probably pretty easily able to do that.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, if you want, I could give it a shot with my great axe.
That'd be it's a little harder to hunt. They don't really hunt with a great axe.
It's true.
Not particularly good for hunting. But I'm sure you've got some spells that do some damage, right? Or at least control animals.
Yeah.
It's a lot easier, actually. Yeah, it's a lot easier if you want to, because you can control animals, correct?
I can calm animal minds, so I could be like, "It's fine. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it."
Got the axe. Okay. Shh. Chop. Yeah, so
Everything is fine.
You're not going to find that particularly difficult. We'll say do you then walk the deer up or do you take it alive?
Oh, I kill that thing.
Okay.
Hermes doesn't want an alive. I'm pretty sure Hermes doesn't want an alive deer. Humans are always killing things and leaving it for the gods. If it was alive stuff, I feel like That'd be better for everybody.
Ease the animal suffering. Does that kill it? The description got lost.
Doesn't kill it. That one's healing because I got that one in case Cassie ever got hurt.
Yeah. But calm the animal mind. Yep. Chill.
Yep.
Murder. Yeah. And so you're pretty huge as I recall. So you're able to take that up, and it's one of those as they look at you. There is a number of people, like a number of the ones kind of look, and there's just this moment of like, it's been a while since they've had someone bring in a sacrifice, but they kind of just let you on through. Okay, blocking someone on Twitch. Okay, make your way into the place itself. For Pen, as you, God damn it, Lear.
Yeah.
As you come in, do me a favor. You put your. I'll just double check on people's characters' name because we play so many of them. You want to put that on the Zoom.
Oh, sorry.
That's fine. As you kind of come through, there is a place where Lucian comes out to greet you. Lucian is got these gaudy dark blue robes, like fairly old. You can kind of see like there's some clearly some twilight scars on him. There's just a thing about him that seems a little like
Performative?
Fuzzy. Not performative necessarily, but a little bit fuzzy in how he's talking. It just comes on and he's like, you must be Leah. I'm Lucian. Lucian of House Marinita.
It's wonderful to meet you.
Kind of takes a look over you because you've got the blue and such of the Fae, and goes, like you'd mentioned it, but I wasn't aware what you'd look like. And like you're the Fae your Fae nature is super obvious, correct?
Yeah.
Because underwater one too. You come home in a sense.
In a way. I was told that you had information about Aquam.
Aquam here? I can't imagine we'd have that here in this particular place. Come with me first. First, we must do the greetings. Kind of goes, and then there are like a bunch of like musicians and such come out and start to sing, and one of them comes up to him and pulls out. Try to remember what the was. Brings out a like a small circlet for the crown that has like owls around it, and he just sort of grabs it, he turns, and he places it on your head, and goes, "For our opening ceremony, you will be Athena. Come."
Thank you.
We see people here so rarely that when they do show up, we like to make sure that it is quite memorable. Come, please meet Poseidon and the others. And
yes.
He sort of turns and starts kind of walking away, kind of further into the thing, and then the people are kind of around, like dancing and singing. You see someone who is you're pretty sure not a mage, but like a singer and such, who is dressed as Dionysus, coming and like calling greetings for the goddess Athena as you are walking further into basically through part of the palace into a large courtyard where it looks like a feast has been set up.
Best case scenario, this is a group sensual experience. Best case scenario.
Lear's very like, oh god, like even if it is best case scenario, I think she's just kind of,
this is gonna be a thing.
Why is it always a thing?
Okay.
Well, at least whatever shield grogs you brought can go down fucking.
Should have taken Bastion with you.
Best case scenario. Nope. Did we lose Sarah?
Oh, there she is.
Oh my.
Okay.
Hold on. I'm going to change over to my phone.
Okay, just a moment. Well, that's happening.
It has to be one of us every week.
Yep.
It's either you or me, Sarah.
I think it's because my kids are on playing video games and stuff, and it's just absolutely messing everything up.
Okay,
Hold on.
Zeldin,
Yes.
for you, you're shown into very Spartan quarters. They go through. They give you they bring you the stuff to eat is it's acceptable. It's not great. This is stuff that you would expect for soldiers to be eating when they're going, but they do bring you some food. There is baths and such drawn if you want them because you've been out on the road for a little bit. In just a moment, we'll have that fixed on the thing.
Sorry.
Oh no.
Hold up.
Super echo. Oh.
Yep. There she goes.
All right.
Okay, let me get the camera up 1 second. Start video. Okay, there we go. I can do this. Okay, that works.
All right. So you are on the side now. I don't know if it's possible.
Am I on the side?
Yep, you are. You are up and down. There you go.
Okay.
So
Well, it's gonna have to be then.
Zaldin, at one point, someone comes and a messenger comes and goes, "Chrysanthi, giant slayer of House Bjornir, has said that she will speak with you."
Wonderful. That would be great. When might that occur?
She sent for me to bring you now.
Beautiful.
Now, it's been a little while
Follows.
since we've talked about it. I don't remember if we got into detail. You have an infamous parent, your parents. What is it about your master, the person who taught you, that makes them infamous?
Oh, I gotta get back to that. I forgot about that. Yeah. I believe that we had said that he was infamous because he did a lot of less than good things revolving around demons.
Oh, okay, yeah, that would do it. That would be
He was heavily into the diabolical and the demonic, and he ran afoul of some people.
Is he still alive?
We had not said. I think Zaldin doesn't know the answer to that question personally.
Okay, because a Diabolus will get you killed. There was an entire house of Magi who were completely wiped out. Like a wizard war was called on all of them because they had been working with demons. Because the problem with demons there is no type of magic that will ever tell you if a demon is being false, or tell you the truth, or reveal something that a demon does not want you to know, because by their very nature they are deception. And working with them is a sure way to bring destruction. So there was probably a wizard's war called, and at some point we'll get into someone took pity on you.
No, well, I didn't work with demons. I didn't even know my master did it. But yeah.
The thing is for you not to have been killed since you were the apprentice at that point, someone would have had to sort of take some pity, which we can kind of get into later.
Okay.
But you are shown into a long hall essentially in part of this, and this is as you're clearly looking, this is a gathering place for people to eat and such. But currently, there's no one else there except for a rather tall woman who's down the waist, has robes on. Robes are very common for mages, just simply because they're comfortable, they're warm, and they're easy to sort of keep things in. But she's standing before kind of a large roaring fire. There's still a little bit of the chill coming through in this area. At this point, Chrysanthi looks at you. You've written back and forth a few times about your interest in essentially getting the Oath of Steadfastness to be part of some of this stuff.
The cult.
Yeah. Let me just bring it up. Because specifically for the clan, that's one of the things for the clan initiation for clan Midsulif, which is the one that you're a part of. But some of these oaths that you take, which can give you some benefits, is one of the things that will allow you to kind of tie you more closely to sort of the secret societies and such that are a part of. And as she looks at you, and she just goes, "Zaldin,
my lady, and he kind of like does a courteous bow.
And there's this moment where she just walks over and just like, well, you see some disdain. Stand, boy. House Bjornir does not bow. And I am no lady. Chrysanthi is my name. Giant Slayer, you may also call me, for that has been earned as well. Let me look at you. Any marks of the beast upon you from your cursed parents?
No, none.
And you didn't know.
I was unaware of his foul dealings. I've spent many missions trying to rid the world of demonic filth to make up for his lack of judgment.
Here, wine. And she kind of goes to the table and goes, if you've been fighting with demons, I would know of it. Sit. Zaldin, prove yourself.
Yes.
Prove yourself worthy. That the shadow that lies over you is maybe not earned. Pen.
Yes.
All right. As you come up into the place itself, there's one of the priests, maybe in his 40s, sort of comes down, looks at you, and is like, "Sacrifice for Hermes."
Yes. How'd you know?
Not many. There's this moment where you can kind of see the sort of shudder that you get when anyone who's not a mage usually is around you. There's a moment. Not many bring. My pardon. Not many bring sacrifices for anything else.
That's fair. You don't need to be scared. It's okay.
It's sorry, a passing thing. Please come with me. What is it you're praying for?
Maybe success in my endeavors. I'm about to try to meet the king. And I feel like maybe Hermes could help me with that.
We're fairly far from any kings here.
Oh. Maybe I wrote it down wrong.
What king are you looking for?
King Lycan.
At that point, is he just Lycan? And the nerve seems to be more about you in this case than him, than maybe Lycan. Because why do you seek Lycan if he even exists? The man is a legend. Thought gone thousands of years ago.
I will tell you, but promise you won't think that I am overly proud or ambitious isn't the right word. That I think too highly of my own abilities, but I look to improve the lives of those cursed with lycanthropy.
Come, bring your sacrifice. We'll see if Hermes is listening.
Yeah.
Turn and takes you sort of further in. As you enter Lear, and this time I do mean Lear, as you enter into the palace in that area, a number of people are kind of gathered there. One of them stands a bit apart from the rest of them, and Lucian, and he holds with him a trident. And Lucian turns and goes, "Welcome all to Athens, the city that needs its god. And here we have," and kind of puts his hand towards the other mage who's there, "Poseidon, lord of the ocean, and with us the daughter of Zeus, Athena. The city demands a patron. So contests shall be held. Those who give the most useful gift will get it. Poseidon shall go first." Poseidon steps out into the group of the crowd is kind of gathered around, and just takes his trident, and you see the mage here is powerful enough to just sort of like, you don't know if this is a spell they've got memorized, but like also is able to just sort of bring it off even without having to like do much as far as anything else goes. Like certain things can be silently cast. Just hits the ground, and then through it like a spring of water starts to bubble up. It goes, "I bring you water," and some of them go to the water, and they just kind of, "My lord, it's salt." He goes, "This is the best water upon the earth. My niece, what gift do you have to give?"
This might be a stupid idea, but I have a plan. Where are my spells? Arts. I am going to do my Muto Aquam water into wine spell.
Mm-hmm.
Let me see what I have to do for this one really quick. It's loud voice and exaggerated gesture. And make a gesture, and it's like a bubbling spring of salt water, correct?
Mm-hmm.
I turn it into wine. So it's like all of a sudden it fades from from clear to red.
Mm-hmm.
And it's wine.
All right. So let's have you believe that's the. If you want to go ahead and cast.
Stress or simple?
It's always stress with magic.
Let's see what I did.
Ooh,
All right.
that's good.
That's only a level 5.
Yeah.
Spell. Okay. Even with that one, I mean, to be honest, with because how much does your water into wine turn into? Like it's like target size, a pool of water about 5 paces across. Yeah. So it just. Yeah, to be honest, that's one if you wanted to also just do that through spontaneous magic. You could do, like with something like that, if you cut that in half, you could make a bigger one if you wanted to.
Yeah.
If it would have, you would normally said beforehand. However, yeah, you're good. As it just, as it sort of turns, do you want to describe what it looks like?
It looks like, at first I think everyone's kind of like, they see the red flowing, they think it's turned to blood, and I'm like, I present to you wine. Please, taste.
One of the same ones comes forward to grab it. It is shoved out of the way with a great deal, like shoved hard, and the guy dressed as Dionysus practically leaps into the spring, and it just goes, and it's like gets up, like just wine now, kind of just dripping down him, and goes, "Not a bit of salt in it," and like others kind of go cups and they grab it, and as you're sort of doing that, like a cheer goes up. Lucian sort of just kind of leans a little bit towards you and goes, "Traditionally it was an olive branch, but for a celebration, this is quite nice."
I figured the party would enjoy it.
So please.
Note to self: create olive spell.
So please have a seat. And there's a bunch of people start to come and sit, and you are introduced to like Crumb the Swift of House Bjornir, Delphiru, also of House Bjornir.
Hold on, I gotta write down some names. Is there a place for me to like take notes? Diary?
Yeah, you can create a journal. If you go to the journal page right next to items, I think at one point you can just go ahead and create a journal in there if you wish.
Journal entry.
Yeah, basically that's a good place for anybody if you want to just make a player thing. You can create those because what you're able to do is you can create pages in it and stuff along those lines, and it's a good place for just kind of keeping notes in general.
Hey, so who am I meeting again?
So what I'll do is I'm going to throw some of this into
Into the Discord?
Yeah. So
All right.
we have got. Let me go.
I gotta pull the Discord then too.
Keitha of House Maranita. Lucian, the scholar, also of House Maranita. Delphini of House. God damn it. Let me do that. Okay. Delphini of House Bjornir. And Crumb the Swift also of House Bjornir. And there's some others. I'll say there may be some other ones there, but these will be the ones that will sort of matter most. Yeah, as you are then able to, I said, have some drinks and enjoy basically the first parts of things as they're going.
Awesome.
Zaldin.
I'm sure this won't go badly.
Zaldin, you've spoken of the you've spoken of like the what you did with the devils and such at the house or the covenant.
Yeah, at the Covenant, and then also taking care of that not prince in wherever that was in the middle where the pillars are.
So
the
when
pillars of God.
When you said the name, she cackles laughing. Because he's still pretending to be a prince.
It would appear so. I could tell that he wasn't. I took him out with like one hit. It wasn't hard to do.
One hit's still impressive for someone so young. And then she starts asking about also the big honking dude, Thapaboth. Because yeah, Gop was the Prince of Hell, the quote unquote Prince of Hell. And with Thapaboth, at that point she gets a little more. She's like, Thapaboth is a powerful creature.
Yeah, I was unable to do anything. I almost went into Twilight. Would I know what Twilight is?
Oh yeah. Wizard's Twilight is a thing everyone's like every mage is aware of.
When I was trying to cast a spell against him, I almost went into Twilight. My people had to drag me away.
Lucky you had people. In the house, look at the name of it again. Hombres L'Assomption. I'd almost forgotten. Been quite some time since. It's been almost 100 years since those mages. I'd heard tell of them. So, you seek the Oath of Steadfastness. You seek to get deeper into the mysteries of House Bjornir. What is it you are wanting?
How would Zaldin state this? Like, he's very much
sensory magic is what it's called.
Yeah. Well, I've heard of this thing called sensory magic. Specifically, is what I'm most interested in.
What is about sensory magic that so interests you?
The fact that it's easier, it seems like it would be more useful than using gestures or being able to see something, having something be able to smell what you're doing and the spell go off. Would just be more convenient.
Still disappointed at that. More convenient. You miss the actual worthiness of sensory magic, what it actually does. Tell me, do you prefer the city or the forests?
The forests.
Do you hold with the people or do you hold with the forces of nature?
I hold with the forces of nature. I try to keep the people away from it as best as possible.
Best as possible. What is it you do to protect those areas that are being torn down, that are being invaded by humans? By people. The humans, it's weird to say. But being invaded by people.
So I'll answer this. I don't think answering with what he actually did would be the right move here.
You know that she's a pretty hardline wilderist. Like the wilder, okay. like some of the hardest lines are basically like we should exterminate people if they're anywhere near magical forests. Like the forest should be protected, and if you are doing anything against it, we should slaughter people. There's also the harmonists who believe they should find some sort of a mix where both the people can have land and such, and they can grow, but also trying not to not so much killing people. Harmonists or wilderists can get to the point where they're like, no, we need to murder folk.
Yeah, Zaldin's kind of more on the wilderness, but he doesn't believe killing them outright, just like pushing them back into their cities. Obviously you try to get them to return to their cities and leave the forest alone. And if they don't, you eliminate them.
And how have you protected the cities? Or have you protected the forests?
Well, I met with one of the cities that were going to tear down the forests around Apona Maria. Not Maria, whatever our thing is, Apona Maria.
Mhm.
And I politely informed them that they were not going to be doing that, and the ones that continued anyway were killed.
Drink of the wine, sets it down, and goes, "It's been my experience that politely telling kings and lords or barons or whatever you had to deal with that they can't go places that they want to go does not tend to go particularly well. In the future, sometimes leading with strength is the more important thing to do."
I will keep that in mind.
There's more we will talk of. Pen. You're shown into a place like a sacrifice pit as you go and burn the offering for kind of up to Hermes. And you hear some footsteps behind you. And goes, "Well, Hermes isn't going to answer you currently. He's elsewhere. But I hear you're looking for me."
I turned in an unsettling manner to face whoever it is.
So King Lycan is, you don't know what you're expecting, but you're just kind of looking at like a guy in his late 40s, perhaps. Some gray kind of going at the temples. Fairly decent shape and such, but very kind of shrewd eyes as he looks you over. And
How
goes,
tall is he?
He's about 5'10".
Ben is just like towering over him, and it's just like,
And just as he kind of looks over and he goes, "You threw Myron for a loop when he described it. I figured what you had to be."
what do I have to be?
A mage of some sort. You forgive me, people like myself, there aren't many of us, but we are immune to what you do to other people. Benefits of being magic
that
ourselves.
thing. I don't really understand why that happens. There's a guy at our keep who's like that. He has a son who's a bull.
Daedalus!
Yes.
Not seen Daedalus in a very long time.
He's in good spirits.
I've never known Daedalus to be in good spirits, but...
I mean, good for him.
So... why have you sought me out?
I don't know if you know where I hail from, but it's from Pano Maria. And as you might recall, we have a very interesting situation going on over there when it comes to those afflicted with the curse.
This I'm unaware of. Tell me.
Not every child, but a good... Wait, Michael, is it every child?
Born there, every child born there.
Any child that is born within the walls or on the grounds of Apano Maria will be of the moon. Does not matter who their parentage is.
Outside of myself and the very few others I've met, it's always a demonic curse. This is a demonic curse that's doing this?
I mean, while I'm not overly sensitive to that kind of magic, I haven't sensed anything of that nature there.
And this is at a covenant.
Not yet. He said it's not a covenant. He meant like magic, right?
It's on a covenant.
Yes.
This is on a covenant.
Then yes, absolutely.
That's hard for that. I mean, I think if you're a covenant, you would know if there was demonic aura or whatever it is around.
Yeah, I feel like Daedalus would have a good sense for it too, and he lives there.
Probably not that then.
Kitty cat.
You looking to cure this?
No.
Then why seek me out?
Well, I was hoping maybe you could lead me towards, well, two things. I do seek to maybe help people maintain their mind during that time of the month. After all, did you see me enter this place?
I did not.
Pen kind of like transforms into her big ass swan form, and flaps her wings and then turns back. And it's just like, if I'm allowed to maintain my mind in that, why can someone not when they are a wolf?
How are you able to do this if... I mean, mine was a curse from Zeus. Different than the other werewolves, but you are able to transform at will? Or is this magic?
I don't know. My mom taught me when I was little. But she was very magical, and so am I. So could be either.
Well, you would know that this is your heart beast. This is through because anything you would have sort of before your heart beast would essentially have been removed magically on there.
Okay,
So
fair
this is it's the House Bjornair heart beast that you're able to transform into. Like theirs is a very specific sort of thing that they don't usually begin with.
Fair enough. Then yeah, it's magic.
Yeah, because different thing entirely.
Still, though, at the end of the day, turning into an animal is turning into an animal. But I imagine, if you already knew how to do that or something even similar, me wishing for it wouldn't be a thing. On another side thing, we've been having some issues with some of the werewolves where they've become afflicted with like a madness of sorts.
What's that madness lead them to do?
Kill? But like not. They were pretty violent, right, Michael? Or am I misremembering?
They went feral, right?
Yeah, basically,
they went feral.
like trying to
Yeah.
join the wolves themselves.
Maybe not kill. They desired to join the wolves even when in human form.
And you wish to give them the minds of people.
Well,
say who they are.
At the very least during, the other 27 odd days of the month.
Okay. He kind of sits down and thinks for a moment. Lear.
Mm-hmm.
You've been brought into some conversation. With one of them with you. Make sure we got the names here. Delphini starts asking some questions like, I've heard you found something to do with Umbris Assumption, an old covenant.
Is that's a Pana Maria, right?
No, that's the one that you went into that was like that had like the demons and other stuff in them.
The one with one in the hidden dimension.
Yeah, the one where you found the orb.
Yeah, we did. We had a. Was it Diam? Diam came to us and asked for assistance.
Sorry, let me make that. Well, say it said that was Lucothia of House Marina. Yeah, and her as you're sort of talking with her, like with some of the Twilight Scarred stuff, like where she looks more like a Nereid.
Mm-hmm.
The thing is, she looks super young. She looks like 25. But she has you start to get tail fins in the place of feet. Her kind of got some large purple eyes. And then goes, I've heard you found something there.
We found many things there. It was a very interesting place.
They were quite well known for a particular magical item that they had worked on, that they created. A very difficult magical item to use, but one that would help you find your way into any regio if something from the regio were placed inside of it.
Well, my what's what I'm looking for? Not companion. My peer is examining that right now.
But you're quite young. Are you all? I mean, who's the eldest? Who's the most experienced mage there?
To be quite honest, we are all quite young, as you said.
I heard as well. Barely out of apprenticeship.
Why, I cannot hide it.
Kind of smiles. Like, no reason to hide it, but we're very far away from most everything happening in the Covenant. We are very pleased to keep our own ways down here, but we do hear some things. We do have some friends that send us information. And there are people who wish to see you fall.
I'm sure there are. We deal with them all the time.
Many
We've
people...
dealt with people with vendettas against my cohort. Vendettas against people we've taken in.
Were these people mages?
No, as of yet, no.
You are at the middle of a political intrigue I don't think you're probably very aware of. I know, Masters-wise, yeah, because Penn also had kind of a bit of an infamous, I mean, just like the weird master compared to like what a lot of people thought. So you kind of have that hedge magic aspect of yourself. Many people were gunning for that place, starting a new covenant there, but there was a lot of behind-the-scenes work being done, and I think many of them consider the forward review expendable. Perhaps more than expendable, but worthy of sacrifice.
Well, we all have our enemies.
You may have more than you
But
think.
I feel it is possible to make friends as well. And I hope to be able to do that amongst other covenants, such as this one.
Plenty of places for friends here. And just kind of takes a moment, sort of starts to say something, then sort of thinks better of it. Zeldin, you talk for a while about kind of a variety of things. Like she's asking you a lot of what you know about demons, anything you saw that your parents had done, but kind of like searching you through kind of the whole time. And there's a point where she just goes, "You're asking for an initiation. I can do this initiation, but the question is, should I? And what from you will make this worth my while?"
Damn. Zalden is kind of like speechless for once. He's like, well, that would depend on what you want from me. Don't have much. I'm a fairly new mage, but we do have a covenant that I am currently one of the people in charge of.
So, you don't know your worth, that you don't know what you have to give, that you come here hoping to be initiated in some of the inner mysteries of House Bjornir. A mage should know what he is. A mage should know what he has to offer. And a mage should know where his power is.
Fine. What were those three things again, Michael? I lost them. I'm blanking.
I didn't write them down. There's just things I said. A mage should know what where his power is, what he has to offer. I think I know who he is. I think it was the third.
Fine. I'm Zalden of House Bjornir. I protect the wilderness. My power comes from the ancient magic of the forests, and I have everything you could possibly want to offer.
Everything.
Money, power. What do you want? I can make it happen.
How long are you out of apprenticeship?
That's his overconfidence flaw
Yeah.
coming
Oh,
through. Like,
she just laughs and she goes, do you have any idea how long I've wanted this earth? Do you have any idea the amount of power I have compared to you? You're barely out of apprenticeship.
and with your tutelage, imagine how powerful I can become and how good of an ally that would be to have.
And she just kind of stops at that moment and just kind of looks at you and goes, at this point in your life, you don't have much to give another mage as far as power. But always remember this. Allyship. Aid when it is needed. Or when it is useful. That currently is the best thing you have. And she kind of like puts her holds her arms out and goes, if you look around here at this covenant, does it seem like money is something that we desire greatly? Pretty Spartan. Like there's not a lot of luxuries and stuff here.
No, it doesn't seem like you care about luxuries, which
No.
is fine.
We have different things that we want, but an ally, someone who can help, that is something that can be worth quite a bit. Will you pledge your aid to me when I call?
I would absolutely. If you need me, I will be there.
And will you do a favor for me until I call?
What is that favor?
Smart. Never swear an oath you don't know. Be aggressive in keeping the forests clear of people, the woods from being turned into logging areas, from the magic of your area being peeled back.
Done. I already strive to do that. I'll be more militant about it in the future.
Let's get you prepared for the oaths. Pen.
Yep.
Okay. Do you remember what the last thing he'd said to you or you'd said to him was?
I'm not gonna lie, no.
Okay. Yeah, there's just a moment where he's just like, you know, it's not easy to live as both an animal and a person. To be able to keep your mind that way. I've lost it more than once in the past. Is that something you struggle with?
No. Sometimes I used to go and just be a swan for a month or two, just to get away from people.
But not because you needed to. The call of the instincts is sometimes just barely underneath the skin. For the lycanthropes, it only happens that once a month, when the moon turns, suddenly they lose who they are. If they were to have it all the time, why is this something you seek?
I like werewolves. I want them to have an easier life.
Are they worth this much of your time, this much of your effort? There's something further than that. There's something more. And there's a moment where he just stands and he goes, come with me, I want to show you a holy place.
Okay.
And goes and starts taking you to the Cave of Hermes. Cave of Hermes is a real place in the real world that you can visit.
Ooh.
With real, like, yeah, basically the huge underground labyrinth. There's a steep slope from over Mount Ravine of Flambasta in Mount Selene. Described as the abode of Selene, goddess of nymph Maya, and the birthplace of Hermes. And goes, oh, here, I will throw in a thing that has got some pictures of it. As he takes you to, like, kind of out from the temple and towards a cavern's mouth. And as he points to it, he goes, this is the birthplace of Hermes. I think you may find in it things that are of interest to you. Things that are lost maybe even to yourself. We do not always look inside of ourselves for all of the things, all the reasons that we do what we do. If you enter there and tell me what you find, I'll tell you if I'm able to help you, to come see what I can do.
All right. Well, if I die in the cave, here is the address for Apano Maria. Please write back to them and tell them that I died.
Certainly. All right. And
Head on in.
For Lear.
Yes.
So, as you end up talking to some of the others, you also have Krum the Swift of House Bjornir. Also, at one point, kind of corners you while people are talking and goes, Apano Maria.
Yes?
I've heard you found the orb.
We have, but it is currently being studied by a compatriot of mine.
Excellent, excellent. You know, that is an amazing thing for you to have. That is also something that could be very useful as a bargaining chip.
Well, perhaps. But it would depend quite likely on what my, again, compatriot discovers. I currently do not have it in my possession.
And there's a moment where he just kind of takes a look and goes, you saw how Lucian was. Lucian's 112 years old. Lucian is, and Krum looks about 40. Lucothia, who you talked to earlier, who looked about 25, seemed to be much, much older, which is fairly rare. It means, but the thing is, she's clearly also got some fairy blood, which means it might be similar to yours, where you're aging slower anyway. But Krum is just like, Lucian's seeking a lot of things. He's going to ask for aid and other things for you to borrow or copy. Actually, he probably would have brought Pen's Anessa's companion, partly because you want someone to scribe the books.
Yeah.
A lot of times they can do the stuff there, but if you bring someone to do it, that is also sort of a bargaining chip, because sometimes you can bring some copies of your own stuff. But yeah, there's a good chance, and you're also able to, instead of taking it away, which is a thing that they often don't like as much.
Do we retcon that so that I'm bringing Giselle with me?
Nessa, you cool with that?
Yeah, I'm cool with it.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah, it goes. If Lucian gets his hands on that, or if some of the others get their hands on that, Lucian is probably going to do something or bring something into the world that is not going to be great. He's seeking things that are out there in the Fae. That he's got plenty that he's been given by different fairy over the years that would allow him to find places that may be better off not found.
I understand. Pray tell, how do you all know about the orb?
Because Lucian's been looking for it for quite some time. He's knew about, he knew the Magi of Assumption Lombres back when they were still around. He was quite young at the time, and they had brought before the entire tribunal this magical item, which got them quite a bit of political power, because the ability to find any regio from something inside of it opens up a huge amount of exploration and magics, especially with the Fey realm as close as it is to everything in our tribunal.
But how did it get out that it was in our possession?
One of the things we have in particular, more than others, is we have little birds, let's say, different places that sing us songs when they hear things and bring the information back. And Lucian's been looking for this for quite some time. And he's had people in a bunch of different places for it.
I see.
Now, Lucian will not last here forever. Lucian can't last for, I think, too much longer. He goes into Twilight once or twice more. He will probably never return. At which point, I'm very likely taking over the house. Lucothea doesn't particularly want it. Delphine, also probably not. But at that point, I would like to speak with you about aiding each other. Because there are some things with that orb that we could find that would be useful. But I don't trust where Lucian might want to go.
I understand. I cannot speak for my entire covenant, as I have others here as well. So, can I come to a greater decision? Can we come to a decision on that at a different time?
Of course. Just don't let it get into his hands. He'll offer probably much for it.
I understand. Thank you for the forewarning.
Okay. Zeldin.
Can we take a quick bio break?
Yeah.
Do we
I
take a
will
bio
say
break? Yep. We will take a bio break. We will be back in a little bit. Curvin. Hello. We will see y'all in about 5.
Man.
All right, and we are back. So we had just finished with Lear, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Zaldin. She transforms into like a large bear. She like leads you outside and transforms into like a large bear, and just kind of strips the robe off, and just changes.
Someone call Mishka.
Yeah, she did cast a spell. Essentially, it's a fairly common one where what you're able to do is essentially it kind of changes any clothing that you're wearing into like a band that goes around you. It's not an uncommon one for Bjornir. And she goes, "Hunt with me." Before she changes.
Okay. Zaldan's gonna take his robes off and turn into a tiger and go hunting with her.
She takes off at a pretty good pace for. I mean, bears can do pretty quick. I think they're more sprinters, but she's able to keep it up a good deal longer. And she's heading through, and you start to catch the scent of both people and like animal carcasses.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna head that direction.
It takes her further down, and at one point near kind of a small pond where there's a bit of a cave there. They've got some of the stuff in there, and you can see that they've got like a bunch of animal skins that they've got. There's just like a pile of meat. Some of it rotting, like a little further away. Some of it they've kept and have been cooking and doing other stuff. But you've got some poachers here, and you see like a good amount of animal skins. Like the road.
Okay.
And she's just kind of coming closer. She just looks at you. Just... And you can just see, like, from the teeth, just like drool starting to come down the sides as she looks at them.
And how many poachers are there?
You see there's like 4 down there. Okay. So they've been drinking, they're talking, they're getting the skins ready, and they've got to scrape all the stuff off it. I think they put salt and other stuff, but they're doing all the stuff you need to tan animal hide.
Okay. Zaldan is in animal form. I think he just like is realizing that these poachers need to go away. I think he's gonna try to sneak up, like how tigers are like quiet. I think he's gonna like try to sneak up close to one, and then just like get one.
All right. Go ahead and make a stealth roll.
What is stealth again?
Oh,
survival?
No, you should have. I think stealth is actually just stealth in here, isn't it?
Yeah. If you don't have a stealth skill, then there's
dexterity.
You can just dex it.
Okay. That's weird that the tiger stat block doesn't have. I'm just using Cassie's stat block because I'm a tiger, right?
Yeah.
So
you'll have your own skills. It's just some of your.
Right.
We should put some stuff at some point for your heart beast form. I thought we did put a thing. Nope. We
never made a heart beast form. I know I personally, Zaldan, have a stealth of 3.
Yeah, just go ahead and roll that. Your dexterity. Give yourself a +2, and we'll double check the stats for you in that thing later.
All right. So instead, you said a +2.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just gonna change it real quick to a different characteristic since that'll work.
Yep.
Simple or stress?
Stress.
Stress. Kaplooey, which is 10.
All right. Yeah, they're talking, and one of them is kind of like loud, and he's got like a stringed instrument, and he's sort of playing kind of poorly and singing a little bit as they're talking, so they aren't going to realize. You leap at, like you said, you leap at him, and are you grabbing and like pulling? What are you doing with him?
I'm leaping with the intent to just kill him. Like, this is full kill this guy.
Yeah.
And I'm attacking the one that's playing music poorer than Bastion.
Yeah. And as that happens, as you get on, he starts to scream, and she kind of clearly waited to make sure what you were going to do, and when that happened, you hear a behind it, and she comes barreling through, like smashes into one, and then grabs another one with her claw, with her jaws, and just starts to shake until you see parts of him come off. The other ones are screaming, like eventually, like she kills that one, she gets another one. There's one of the fourth one has started like just running as fast as he can to try to get away after you killed yours.
I think I can run faster than him.
Yep.
I'm a tiger. I'm gonna catch him and just bounce.
Okay. Yeah, you're on the way.
Running.
He's like, no, please, God, no, please, please, God, please, God, please, God. And then you just and you take him out.
Yes, without
Okay.
question. Just
Now, if anything, you should have let him live as a warning to the others.
nah.
Fair.
This is my trial. No survivors.
All right. And then she walks up a bit later, like blood kind of covering her face and some of her claws. None of it hers. As you finish him off. Pen. You step in the cave. The cave itself is fairly fairly treacherous as you first walk in. Like it's fairly steep as you first go down, and then you hear like a woman's voice, very light, like something strikes to you of the Fae. Like it's a certain way that you've heard. Doesn't sound like either of the ones you've met before, but does sound. There's a similar quality, and you just hear, "Lose yourself. Hermes will find your way out."
I'm torn between would Pen believe a voice, because she is very gullible, but also at the same time, she does not seem like the kind of person who's like, lose myself. Great.
This is there's also a very strong magical presence in this one. So, I mean, this was supposed to be in the cave Hermes was born in. So something like this is more. These kind of trials are not terribly unusual. That doesn't mean they're safe. Doesn't mean they can't be dangerous. But those kind of trials are not uncommon.
All right, Pen will give it like 80% and be like, I'll try my best.
Okay. And
Disembodied voice.
Are you able to make light of any sort, or do you put together a quick torch?
I don't think I can. Most of my stuff is about pelvic bones.
Okay. So you'll have stuff with just kind of get a torch going, and you'll make your way in. So as you're going through, like there's at one point like the torch itself, like the winds seem to just like sort of attack it, and then you're plunged into darkness. Then a moment later, there's light. It starts sort of soft at first, but you're not seeing the cave around you. What was your first encounter with a lycanthrope? One of the things that helped started to make this something important enough that it became a goal for you.
I think maybe somebody came to my my like witchy patron, my pater, for help in that regards. And while I don't think she was able to help him, I don't think she was able to help her. I think it was like the first time I like had another human around for an extended period of time. And even if they were kind of scared of me, one time a month they were down to play.
Yeah. So as you're working with, at this point you would not have had your own heart beast as of yet. But you knew it was something that like your parents had. At some point you would go through the initiation. You would get one, because one of the things is they pretty much do not, like Bjornir, do not take lycanthropes. In fact, they tend to kill lycanthropes who try to become a part of the thing. How about this? Have you thought of a reason why it's so important that your character wants to help lycanthropes gain more control over who they are?
I think she thinks that if they have control of their human minds, they will be like humans in wolves' bodies, essentially. And she will have like friends.
Okay. So Relia had been taken in by your parents. She tried to teach her, and she was sort of a bit older than you, but you did know that. Was she wolf? What was her form?
I think wolf, classic.
Okay. Yeah. But on the full moons, she was let out and would hunt and kind of come back in. Relia was someone you had worked with sort of a long time. When it came to the point where she was actually being taken to tribunal first. The Grand Tribunal, where they come through, and essentially, when there's a meeting of all the Bjornir, one of the things that happens is they will bring in the apprentices to go through the initiations. And this is something both you and Zaldin had done. We'll cut to before. She's clearly very nervous as they're getting kind of close to it. They're sort of getting ready, and she's got a lot. Like she should be getting her full initiation done. At this point, she'll no longer be an apprentice. Beforehand, you catch her outside, just like almost shaking.
Rhea, what's wrong?
Pen, I go soon to get my initiation. If things go well, I will be a full mage when I get back. And like she had like a couple tears just start to like come out of her eyes.
It's okay. You can still stay with us when you're a full mage.
If they know,
you don't have to go right away.
We are trying to hide what I am, but if they find out, if they know, you will not see me again. But this may be the only way I have to find any control over this. This drove me away from, this and the gift drove me away from my family. It drove me away from any place that made it so I couldn't find safety in any of the ways the other apprentices that I've met previously were able to. But
I still don't understand. There's nothing more natural.
She seems to think that they won't. The thing is, her heart beast is something different than mine. Is a curse. The heart beast is supposed to be the most pure aspect of yourself, of the part of us that are animal, and mine was thrust upon me when I was very young.
I'd like to think it matches what you were always meant to be.
She kind of grabs your hand. She goes, Pen, I don't know if you pray. I don't think I do anymore. But if you are, pray that I come back. Pray that I find my way through the initiation.
Okay. Should I try to aim it at someone, or?
She just kind of, like, see your shoulders sort of drop a little bit because you're fairly young, is my guess here. Like maybe 6 or 7.
Yeah.
Yeah, like not of an age where you can kind of understand exactly what's going on here. And she just goes, whoever you talk to when you need the most help.
Pen is just like sitting there with like a 7-year-old mind being like, I know 2 people. And I've never met, I don't know any of the gods, but she's just like, all right, I guess I'm going to figure this out.
Then we cut to, like, as the things sort of change, and you remember this, so this is about a month later when your parents comes back. I don't know if we've come up with a name for her, but like you said she was hag-like.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, when the hag-like one comes back and like the door opens up and she comes back into the home, she's got like the servants and other stuff that she has are bringing in some other things and getting things prepared. She's brought with her some new books and some other things. Kind of just doesn't even pay attention to you at this point when she goes through and walks in. Immediately starts like getting some people to get food and such ready, and then just sort of like sits in a chair after the long sort of travel. Takes off her shoes, kind of rubs her feet.
Mistress, is Rhea back yet?
Rhea's not coming back.
Did she find another place to live?
You want to make sure you work hard, Pen. You don't want to fail the way that she did. Tomorrow, we do work. Tonight, I rest.
Okay.
And at no point during the rest of your time you were with her did anyone else share the other bed in the room with you that you had shared with Rhea.
Well, I like to believe that she's still out there somewhere, even though I think Penn knows in her heart that she's probably dead.
I'll say this. So, does Penn still not accept the death? Like,
I
Penn
think she
today?
still, Penn today still kind of keeps like, because I think her patron did not like tell her
Oh,
things.
she didn't. But all right, we'll come back to it.
Yeah,
Lear.
but like anything. So she's like, I don't know what happened. She could be the Prince of Monaco now for all I know.
Okay. So, Lear.
Mm-hmm.
Things are starting to kind of come the party kind of goes. You're shown to a place to kind of sleep, and the next day, Lucian visits. He goes, "That was well done yesterday. Welcome to Aegea. Aegea? We'll say Aegea.
Gia.
Welcome to Aegea.
Thank you for the warm reception.
So, you'll come with me. We'll bring the scribe along with you."
All right.
He goes and he rattles off like several books of some pretty powerful ones on Occam. And she's got some of the ones that were copied from the. You all have a pretty massive library, so some of the ones that she had copied, she sort of brings up, and I was like, excellent. These would be useful. Tell me, Leah. There's a tribunal coming up soon. Not the Grand Tribunal, but the Tribunal for Thebes itself. A lot of wheeling and dealing, and you have enemies out there.
So I've been told.
A lot of the parents, and I don't believe yours is one of them, but are not particularly well thought of by many here. They managed to bring together some voting power, however, and some favors that not all of us are aware of.
I see.
We would like to be an ally, but we could use some aid. We are aware that you recently found some of the treasures of Lumber Assumption.
We did. We came across them.
There was an orb that they had created they were quite sort of proud of. He goes and he takes from his robes like a stone that he sort of sets down, and he goes, "This is from Mount Olympus. A favor I once asked of Aphrodite when I met her many, many years ago. I'd always hoped we would be able to find our way there, because here in Thebes we're so close to the Fae, to magic, much more than in any other tribunal in the entire world. I think this is the place. We can bring them back, but I need to get there."
The Fae?
Not the Fae, the gods. The other gods do not have the presence in other lands that they do here. The gods are Fae, of course. But they might be able to help us peel back parts of the world that have been shut down to us because of divine auras. I think we could make, essentially, this entire tribunal flooded with magic again.
Interesting.
And I remember when I was quite young, an apprentice still, they showed the orb that they had, if you put something inside of it from a magical regio, you could find any regio. And it's such an impossible thing, nearly impossible, to find so many of them without help. And I believe you could help us find Olympus.
So when we just out of game, when we found the orb, was it actually doing the magic kind of stuff, or was it just an orb?
Well, the thing is, you'd have to understand how to use it. That's the thing we've had Ibrahim's character's been sort of working on. Like it needs to be studied and understood because it's not like you just show up and there's instructions. it takes
Yeah.
some doing. They seem to be aware of what that orb was supposed to have done. Yeah, because like you weren't entirely sure as of yet.
Okay. I do find it wondrous that you understand how to work the orb.
I don't understand how to work it, but I know what it did because I was there when they
Well-
when they presented it to tribunal.
Knowing what it does and knowing how to work it are very different things. What? You say that there is value in it for you, for us.
I think for the entire tribunal.
The tribunal is House Marinita, right?
No, the tribunal is the Theban tribunal. Like it's essentially because like they're
Oh yeah,
it's
the region.
Yeah, one of the things is there's more Whis here than anywhere else. Like other places, that raw magical like essence is something that
Mhm.
is jealously hoarded. Here, there's so much of it. It's really not that big a deal. Like this, that we said previously, is true. Like the Greek gods, and a lot of the I mean, you got centaurs that are on that peninsula that's over by Demetrius. But here, those things are much more common, and much like a lot of those things still more of people's lives than anywhere else in Europe.
Oh. Perhaps it could be, but as of right now, I don't think anyone understands how it works. It's been gone for so long. Currently, one of my compatriots is attempting to understand that.
I could probably come and help this compatriot.
I don't know if Celine would be open to that. He is of a foul temper.
He's a child barely out of apprenticeship like all of you.
And he is of a foul temper. I can barely speak to him myself. But perchance, let me speak to Salim and see if I can bend his mind a little bit.
Keep this in mind. I do not wish to take it. I just wish to get your help with it. There are others who are going to wish to take it, who are not going to look at 4 apprentices possibly mistakenly given a covenant with something that powerful. When the tribunal comes together, you will have people standing up against you.
It's very... I keep on being told how we're so young and we're so inexperienced and we're so not worthy of what we've done. Yet we were the ones that found the orb. It's quite humorous.
Do you think that gives you the magical power and experience?
No, but I do believe that we are perhaps not as harmless as some people would like to believe.
It's kind of laughs.
But
and he goes, it's good to have confidence in oneself, but remember, when the houses get together, you are playing with mages, not with people.
Oh, I understand.
Please speak with your friend Celine, because this is, I think, an alliance between our 2 covenants could be very useful. We also could use better friends in the tribunal.
Perhaps we could.
Now, I'll let you look through to see which ones you wish to copy. I think these ones that have been brought will help fill out our library nicely.
Thank you very much.
As he stands up and makes his way out. Zeldin, you find yourself later on at a spring, kind of deep in, like much deeper in the woods.
Okay.
She's changed back And she's now, like, robe is aside. She's still got some of the blood and such on her from before. And she stands naked in front of the pool by you and goes, Zaldin of House Bjornir, are you prepared for the oath of steadfastness?
They're gonna go back to being human. Yes. Yes, I'm ready.
She sort of nods and goes, come forward and bring blood.
Okay, come forward. I bring
You
blood.
probably you still have blood on you from.
Oh yeah.
Also, worst case scenario, you could just fetch it from one of the guys you just eviscerated.
I mean, worst case scenario, could just cut his hand. Like there's blood. There's blood aplenty.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah,
Blood,
he
more
steps
blood.
forward. He just like wipes
Would
the
you like
blood
some
off.
blood?
Just like wipes the blood off his mouth, so it's on his hand.
And she reaches out and sort of takes that blood and mingles it with the ones on her own hand. That takes yours, dips it into like the spring, into the water coming up. It's cold. And she just looks at you this moment and just like, Zaldin of House Bjornir, do you swear that you will never allow an insult to a Bjornir Magi go unpunished?
I swear it.
Then she takes some of the blood, she anoints it on you. She just, and there's like some fire and such appears like in some places, like basically lights some things magically on fire around you as you're in there. And she takes you through like the entirety of the. I'll get you what the specific stuff is later. I'll look up what the actual power will be. But as she goes through, what's going to happen is I'll throw this into the chat in there, and if you want to put this on your character sheet, we'll give you the specifics of how much more powerful. But essentially, your magic will be stronger in the presence of other Bjornir mages, so long as you never allow an insult to Bjornir Magi to go unpunished.
If anything, that means you should spend less time with Pen.
Ah.
Yeah, and there's a point where she goes through, finishes it up, and there's a point she's like, it'll take some time to get you into the mysteries of sensory magic. But you've taken your steps. Remember, we are not human. We are not animal. We are something between. And
Thank you.
And Pen. There's a point where you see it's like the like it goes dark again, and you're wandering through the shadows in there, and then there is a light sort of comes back, but this one's sort of in the shape of a man. And like as he comes forward, he's sort of glowing, and Hermes himself is kind of bringing the cavern with his glow. And he goes, Pen, Magi.
Hermes,
I have a message.
happy birthday.
It's not my birthday.
Oh, we're in the cave you were born in, and you just kind of appeared, so I thought maybe it was your birthday.
No. But I have a message to bring you. You still sometimes see with the eyes of a child. You have a naive hope inside of you and do not always see what is in front of you. That for you will be important. Because you are looking into kinds of magic and a difficult task that you may not be suited for. But you will not know until you open your eyes. And he points towards a pool that you can now see and goes, look into the pool.
Okay.
So as you go and you look into it, you see an initiation with several different young Bjornir going through it. I mean, for a moment, it almost could have been yours as you're looking into it. But then you see Rhea. As she's in there, just sort of looking nervous, and as the spells and such are going, they approach her, and you remember the same thing when they were going through about like finding the heart beast, and as they kind of cast the spells upon you that should have like brought you into the mystery of the heart beast, there is just like a violent flash from it as when you transform, like your whole body, it was a thing of your whole body like almost joyously becoming this thing that had been inside of you that had been waiting to happen. But she violently sort of changes into a wolf, and as she starts to move, suddenly she's like held in place. Almost, I mean, not even a spell barely cast, but just like someone with the amount of power over animals just to freeze her entirely. They take her out and still in wolf form, and you see them like tie her to a tree. And then when the moon comes down and the first bits of the sun start to touch the horizon, you see as she transforms back. And the way that she was tied, as it transforms back, it's fairly tight around her neck when she goes back into the human form. And there, throughout the day, naked in the cold, she's there until she dies.
That's not fair.
Never known mages to think fairness was something that was owed.
I mean, I'm not really part of mages when it comes down to it.
No, Bjornir, if you start to pretend you're something you're not, you will never be able to find your way to help bridge this gap between others. You have to understand what you are before you can help others understand what they are.
No, that's going to be difficult.
You have power. You have magic. It is time to approach the world as an adult, not a child. Is this an undertaking that you think you can do?
I can try.
Uncover your own heart first. Then from there, you may find a way. And remember, the lycanthrope, he starts to fade, and the room around you starts to sort of shift a bit until it's like the beginning of the entrance of where you're at. He goes, and remember, those lycanthropes owe more of my people than of demons, the ones from your home. And then you're standing there, and King Lycan is still standing sort of outside the cave.
Hey, King Lycan, I'm back.
Tired day. I was afraid you wouldn't make it. Tell me what
Feels like it was only a minute.
Tell me what you've discovered.
He showed me the murder of a dear friend.
And how might that connect with your need to give control?
He said that I needed to figure out my own heart before I could help others.
There's a moment where he just sits and sort of takes a look at you and goes, and how does this connect with your need to find controls for the lycanthropes?
I'm not gonna lie, I don't 100% know.
He goes, at that point, it just sort of stands, looks down, he goes, when you figure that out, come and talk to me.
Okay.
Sounds like you have some digging to do.
Well, it was nice to meet you.
Come, let's get you back and fed. And you head back. All right, so a good place to end for the evening?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right. So I will get some stuff about the books. Like the books will be in the future, so like you'll be able to do some stuff with your mages and experience because you had a couple different things go through. I'll get you specifically about how much stronger your magic gets with other Bjornir around.
Okay.
Sounds good. All right, we're gonna let people know where to find y'all.
Hi, I'm Sarah. I'm Powerful Week almost everywhere. Come find me.
Hi, I'm Steve. I'm the Dragon X on TikTok. You can find me here. You can find me Fridays on Beards and Barbarians, Saturdays on Ronin's Den, and soon to be on Grimstone Games running The Crypt is Open. I'll have a date for that eventually.
Yay. Hey, I am Nessa. You can find me everywhere under Loch Nessa, LOCHNEASSA. I'm also on a show called Dead Teen House Party if you like horror. And I'm going to be on Steve's thing, so look out for that.
All right. And I'm Improv Jim's about everywhere, and we will catch you later.
Bye.